Hi, thanks for joining me. I'm Chris Maragkakis of Simply Be Wellbeing. I'm a women's life coach, podcaster and speaker, and wellbeing provider. I'm also a mindfulness and meditation teacher. Welcome to Mindful Mutterings. Please like, share and subscribe, and thanks for listening. Hi, thanks for joining me this week. I'm going to be talking about our need, I think that's the word, to control other people and how we can stop trying to do that. Because we're very good at thinking that we know what's best for other people or how we think they should behave, either to have what we think would be better life for them or to make our lives easier or better. And so I'd like to say, please stop. It's not healthy for you. It's not healthy for them. So Byron Katie, I've mentioned her before in other podcasts, says that happiness comes from understanding that there are three kinds of business. My business, which is everything I think, feel or do. Your business, which is everything you think, feel or do. And God's business, and for this insert your belief system of choice, which is everything else that happens, so weather, war, famine, etc. And she says that when we're thinking that someone should behave differently to the way that they are currently behaving, then we are firmly in their business. And for us to be happy, we need to stay in our business and do the work there. The other thing to consider is that we can never really know what's best for someone else because we're not them. So no matter how well we think we know them, we cannot truly know what they've been through or what they need to experience for their own personal growth. That means, unfortunately, that it's our ego, the idea that we know what's best for everyone, that is driving our intention to change them, no matter how well intentioned it may actually be. At the end of the day, they're not broken and they don't need us to fix them. They're not underachieving, they don't need a firm shove in the right direction, and they certainly don't need us to educate them. They are exactly who, what and where they are meant to be. And we can absolutely know this because it's who, what and where they are. And again, using a Byron Katie quote, you can argue with reality and you will only lose 100% of the time. See, we don't need to agree with their choices. We just have to manage our beliefs and our expectations around them. Because the only thing that we can really do in a situation where we feel that someone else should be different is to do the work on ourselves, because we can't make someone else change. We can't make someone do something. And to think that we know what's best for them is arrogance. So, again, Byron Katie says that by asking ourselves the following questions, we can help move from being triggered by what we're seeing and thinking to finding a way to respond that is beneficial to us and empowers the other person to live their life as they choose. I mean, ultimately, we're all sentient beings having an experience, and so we need to let people have that experience so that they can learn and grow. So the first question is kind of, what is the difference between what I'm experiencing and what I think should be happening? The second question would be, how does having this belief make me feel and behave? Thirdly, how would I feel and behave if I didn't have this belief? And 4 is, what is the new truth or turnaround that I've discovered? And she calls this process the work, and it is life-changing. So we can apply these questions to anything that causes us a negative reaction of some kind, and then it can help us to mindfully resolve our issues by reducing the emotional turmoil and mental chatter that would normally engage it. So essentially, we can think clearly. So this helps us to stay in the present moment, helps us keep focused, and that helps to keep our parasympathetic nervous system activated. And a byproduct of this is that we can think clearly and rationally and problem solve effectively. And with much more skill and accuracy than we can if we're stressed or emotional. And so it's much healthier for our bodies and our minds, and it's less likely to cause further issues in the way conflict or control might. I mean, everyone is responsible for their own beliefs and behaviours, and if it's our choice to cause suffering to others or not reach our full potential, then it's only us that has to live with those decisions. We have to accept responsibility for how we show up in the world and how that impacts on other people, and then how they choose to treat us in return. So feeling that maybe it's our responsibility to make others behave in a certain way or that they should live differently is exhausting. And like I said, we can't actually make anyone do anything anyway, so ultimately it's futile as well. It's much better to use the energy doing something different, because believing what we know, or believing that we know what is best for another person, like I said, is not only arrogant but disempowering to the person involved. So a quick caveat here is also obviously that in relation to our children, we as parents do have a responsibility to guide and nurture them until they have the experience and knowledge to manage them themselves. But that still doesn't give us permission to dominate or oppress them, because while they're maturing, just because we think we know best. Our idea is to guide them in all ways, and that includes empowering them to be able to make the decisions that they need. And also we need to create a safe environment for them where it's okay for our children to learn through experience, however that may be, with us knowing that we're there to support them through the process of exploring what happens when things don't go to plan. And having boundaries in place for them to feel secure is essential. But then these boundaries need to be reviewed regularly to ensure that we are empowering and not trapping our children, and allowing them to grow and feel confident in identifying, challenging and changing the beliefs and behaviours that they have come to observe that are not working for them or the community around them, because this is then how we enable them to be strong, confident, resilient adults in the future. And when we've worked through the questions above, we can then calmly see how we want to manage the situation. I mean, maybe we want to reduce interactions we have with this person, or maybe we might feel that putting and maintaining effective boundaries around how often we mix with them, or how they're allowed to show up in our life might be effective, and that might be the solution we want to go with. Or we may feel that maybe creating the opportunity for dialogue may provide an opportunity for us both to understand and compromise, or at least for some tolerance and understanding to be passed, I guess. So for our own peace and for their growth, the one thing that we want to be working towards is letting go of our attachment to thinking that we know better, or that we are right and they are wrong. These are very black and white decisions, and life isn't black and white. It's full of all the little grey areas in between. And to understand that ultimately we're not responsible for the way they behave. They are. And we are not responsible for the opportunities in their life. They are. And we are not responsible for the outcomes that they create. They are. We can absolutely know this because we are all sentient beings and we have free will. And that means we all have the ability to choose between being triggered and choosing to respond to the things that happen in our life. And that's what makes us powerful spiritual beings. So I really hope this helps you to examine some of the relationships and situations that you may be in, and your sense of responsibility or towards that person or their well-being, or even your need to control it in respect to the relationship that you found yourself in. Or maybe it gives you an opportunity to tune into your conditioning, and you can ask yourself why you feel you need to control that person. But as you can start to become more aware of those reasons, you can let go of that need to control. And obviously, firstly, your relationships are likely to become more positive anyway. But also, all that energy and all that stress associated with trying to impose your will on someone else can now be used for the work that you need to do on yourself, so that you can empower yourself to be more and to be a better problem solver and to communicate clearer. And so that's such a beneficial swap in the way that you're living and the way that you're using your energy to move through the world. So I also hope it's given you a tool to manage your mindset and your responses in a more empowering way. Sometimes we just don't know how to get ourselves out of the situations we're in, and just stepping back, or having a set of stock phrases, or having a kind of get out clause is a really useful way to just create some space to think clearly about how we want to handle a situation. And I hope it's shown you that the only thing that we are truly responsible for, and the only thing that we can control in this world, is actually how we choose to interact with it. So thank you as always for listening. Please like, subscribe and share this podcast so that it gets to the people who need to listen to it. If you've got any questions or you want to get in touch, then please contact me via simplybe.org.uk. And as always, thanks for listening. I hope you'll join me for the next one. Take care of you. Bye.